Well, can we change the square root into the power of a half?
Yep.
Um, can we use it for rearranging for x?
Say it again, sorry?
For rearranging for x for
Yep.
the u.
Yep.
So that's just u minus 5 over 2.
Okay. And maybe I'll just write that as a half times u minus 5. Same thing.
Okay.
Maybe I'll try it as a half u minus 5 over 2. Okay, what's next?
Would we then integrate it?
Integrate what?
The x to 2x plus 5 to the power of a half.
And so how do you integrate this?
You add 1 to the power and then divide by the power.
So this is so the point of the substitution is that it would kind of simplify things. So you see how u equals 2x plus 5? So if u is equal to 2x plus 5, what could you write instead of this?
Oh, u.
Yeah, so that could be u to the power of a half. What could you write instead of x?
The half u minus 5 over 2.
So that could be a half u minus 5 over 2. And then the problem is that would be with respect to x. You also have to change the dx into du. So this one here, if you differentiated this, that would get you dx and du. And so, let me see, dx by du. So if we go back to the way it was originally, what would be du by dx?
Would it just be 2?
That would just be 2. And so you could rearrange that to be dx equals a half du.
Okay, yeah.
And so we swapped x for a half u minus 5 over 2. We swapped 2x plus 5 for u. And what can we swap dx for?
The half du.
Yes, half du. And so that is what you would integrate. How do you go about integrating that?
I'm not quite sure. So
I think it would help to expand it all first.
So would we have the half times the half u?
Yeah. So that would be like, let's say, a half u to the half times by what's in the bracket. So you can do it all in one go. Okay, so try expanding that. What would you get?
So it'd be a quarter u. And then is that just still a power of the half?
So that's like to the power of 1. And so u to the half times u to the 1.
Is it just a half?
You add them, so a half plus 1.
Oh, is it 3/2?
Yeah.
Then it would be the 5/2 times by the half u to the power of a half.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's 5/4 u to the power of a half.
A half. Yes, and then you would integrate that.
So do we need to add 1 to the 3/2?
Yep.
So that becomes 5/2.
Mm-hmm.
And then is it a quarter divided by the 5/2?
Yeah.
That's 1/10.
That's 1/10. Okay, next one.
So then that'd be to the power of 3/2 for u.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'd be the 5/4 divided by the 3/2, which is 5/6.
Well done. 5/6 and plus c, and that's it. Okay, so big picture with this substitution stuff. So if this was differentiation, it would be product rule. You know, it's like a function times a function, an x times an x. So you would have to do some kind of product rule thing for integration. That would be quite difficult. And so instead we substitute. Oh, hold on. We have one more thing left to do, but I'll come to it. So instead we sub in u as 2x plus 5 just to kind of simplify it down. The problem with that, okay, so instead of 2x plus 5 we write u, which makes it much simpler. Instead of x we write a half u minus 5/2, and so we can expand that out. The little extra trick though is dx. You can't integrate u with respect to x, and so we have to find in this one here, we always differentiate that to get du and dx so that we can swap between them.
Okay.
Little extra thing actually, they didn't ask us to find u, we just used that. What did we say u was equal to?
The 2x plus 5.
And so at the end we unswap it. Yeah. And so you can see how that would have been difficult to do. You get a very complicated answer. But replacing 2x plus 5 with u made it simpler.
Okay.
Any questions about that?
No.
So let me just see. So they wrote a slightly different way. I wrote it as 1/10 times it, and they wrote it as that. 5/6. Yeah. So now I just want to see. Oops, this question 3 sent me. I don't know how to import it from WhatsApp, so I'll just write.
Yeah, because it was all 3 questions.
So, yeah. So these are the last part would probably be a bit easier, believe it or not, even though it's definite integration. Well, yeah, okay. U equals 2x minus 1. Okay, let's try this.
So can we rearrange to equal to x first?
Yep.
So then So it'll be just u plus 1 over 2.
Yeah, u plus 1 over 2, and I'm going to write that as a half u plus a half.
So if we're changing the dx into the du.
Yeah.
That's just 2.
Yeah, so du by dx equals 2.
So then dx is a half du.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to change the x over the 2x minus 1?
So yeah, we now get rid of, we replace all the x's with u's.
So then that would just be half u plus a half.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would be over 2 times by a half u.
No.
Plus a half.
No.
And then minus 1.
No. What is 2x minus 1 the same as?
So that we keep that to u.
Yeah, and in fact, if you had expanded those brackets, it would simplify down to just u.
Okay.
What else?
And then we'll have the half du in the end.
We have a half du. And remember we had our integral between 2 and 1.
Yeah.
So with these, you have less work at the end, but you have more work at the beginning. When x equals 1, what does u equal?
Is it just 1?
Yeah. When x equals 2, what does u equal?
3?
Yes. And so when you're integrating with respect to x, it's between 2 and 1. When you're integrating with respect to u, it's between 3 and 1.
Okay.
Okay, how do we integrate this thing?
Do we still keep the u at the bottom, or do we need to bring that up?
I think we can make it our lives a bit easier. What is a half u over a half? Any idea?
Is that just a half u?
What is u divided by u?
It cancels out.
Yeah. And so you're left with just...
So then that would be just a half.
So that's just a half.
And then it would be a... what is it? Just 1 over 2u?
Well, it's 1 over 2 over u. What is 1 over u the same as? If you were integrating or differentiating, what would you do with it?
It would be ln u.
Yes. That's the same as u to the minus 1.
Oh, yeah.
But we might have to do something like that. Yeah. Let me think. This might just... Okay, so I wasn't going to do this yet. No, let's just leave it as it was. So let's say that's a half u to the minus 1 or a half over u, whichever way you want to write it.
Yeah.
The whole thing, though, was a half du. So what do we do there?
Do we just need to times them?
Yep.
So the half times by the half will just be a quarter. So then it'll be a quarter plus a quarter u to the minus 1.
Yeah. Okay, let's integrate.
So the first term, would that just become a quarter u? Then
And that's the same as a quarter over u.
so, wait, would that not cancel the u out?
So that's what would happen, but that doesn't make any sense. Would it be a quarter ln u?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the integral of 1 over u? Is that ln u? I think it is.
Yeah.
And so that is a quarter ln u. And so, well, that is between 3 and 1. So what do you do next?
So we just need to input it.
Okay.
So then we'll have a quarter times 3.
Yeah.
Plus a quarter ln 3. Minus a quarter times 1. Plus a quarter ln 1, which equals to 0.
Okay. A quarter times 1 is that, and then that one is 0. And so, simplify or calculator.
So would that become a half?
So this would be 3/4, I believe.
Yeah, so 3/4, then minus the other quarter.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that would be a half plus a quarter ln 3.
Yeah.
Okay, and what is ln 3? So something weird, is it? Yeah. So 1/4 ln 3. Okay, and so we have the exact value anyway. Okay. So this one is just complicated because of the fraction. I was just going to mention something. Let me just take this bit here. I'll have to take more than I need. You know how it has a quarter going through it?
Yeah.
So we could factorize out that quarter, and because differentiation and integration don't change the coefficient, if we were to factorize out a quarter and say that's 1 plus, let's say, 1 over u, you can then bring the 1/4 onto this side, and so you just integrate it and then you multiply your answer by a quarter. I don't know if that's easier or harder.
Okay.
It just takes away the, a quarter over u is just a bit weird, fraction of a fraction. You don't have to swap back into x for your final answer because there is no x and there is no u. It's just an area, and the area of this will be the same as if you found the area using x instead of u.
Okay.
Other than that, it's the same. Any questions about that one?
No.
So let us now try your next one. Your question 2. Okay. Let's see. So it was x plus 4 over 4 minus x. We wanted the definite integral. And that. And using the substitution, u equals 4 minus x. So how do we do this?
So we can rearrange for x.
Okay.
So would it just be x is equal to 4 minus u?
Yep.
And the du over dx is minus 1.
Yep.
So what does that mean? The du is equal, well, the dx, is that just minus du?
Yeah.
So can we input our x into the x plus 4? Or could we change the root to a power of a half?
Yeah. You could probably do it all in one go. Whichever way you like.
I think I might keep it as the fraction.
Okay.
So that would become 4 minus u, then plus u. Oh wait, no.
U.
It's plus 4, sorry.
Yeah.
Not u. And then it'd be the square root of 4 minus u.
And what does that simplify to?
So then that would be 8 minus u.
That would be 4 minus 4. And minus u.
Oh, so it would be just u on the bottom.
Yeah, that's that one there.
So the square root of u.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure from there. Oh, so then we would have to minus the u, would we?
Minus what u?
To minus the du to replace the dx.
Yep.
Could we simplify the top?
Yep.
So that'll be 8 minus u.
Yep.
Over the square root of u. Do we change the limits now? So when x is equal to 4, does u equal 0?
U equals 0.
And then when x is equal to 0, u is equal to 4.
X is 0, u is 4. Oh, so strangely enough, the limits kind of stay the same. 0, 4, 4, 0. Same thing.
Okay. Do we need to integrate that now?
You could. Let's make it a bit simpler if we can. Square root of u.
It'll be just u to the power of a half.
Yeah. And so you could write that as 8 over u to the half minus u over u to the half to the minus du. Like mine with that there. Okay, what could we do there?
Do the u's cancel out on the second one?
Well, this is u to the 1.
Oh, so then it'd be... Is it just minus a half? So u to the minus half?
It is 1 minus a half.
Oh, so it would just be a half.
Yeah, so that one is u to the half. Any idea what we can do with this one for integration?
I don't know.
Polynomial form is what it's called. It's good for integration and differentiation. That would be if you brought the u up. So that's 8u to the power of what?
Minus a half.
Yeah. And so in the same way that it makes integration easier to change the square root of u into a power, you know, you just fully make it a power. One last little thing though, I don't like this minus du. What could we do to get rid of that minus? Or what does it mean, that minus du?
Oh, it's just minus 1.
It's just those times by minus 1.
Yeah.
And so what will they become?
That become minus 8.
Yeah.
U to the power of minus a half. And then it'd be just a positive u to the half.
Yeah. Well done. Okay, now it's ready.
So do we need to re-input the x's for what, 0?
Nope. We worked very hard to get rid of the x's. We now just integrate.
Oh, okay, so then it'll be u to the power of 3 over 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll be divided by 3 over 2.
Yeah. What is 1 divided by 3 over 2?
Oh, it's just 2 over 3.
Yeah. Keep change flip. And this one.
And then that's the second term would be just a half. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then the 8 divided by a half would just be 16.
Yeah. Always use your calculator for these.
Yeah.
Is that it, or is there more?
Does the du need to be changed? Oh no, we've already done that. Do we need to input the 4 and the 0?
Yeah.
So then that'll be 2 over 3 times by 4 by 3 to the power of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Then minus 16 times by 4 to the power of a half.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got minus 80 over 3.
So minus 80 over 3. And that's because when you sub in 0, those will be 0.
Yeah.
And if I look at your thing, it's a multiple choice, and it was choice D had minus 80 over 3.
Yeah.
Choice C had positive 80 over 3. You might, so if you want, we can do question 3, or if you want, if you think you're fine, then you could do that yourself sometime. Do you have any preference?
No, I think I might want to do this one.
Okay. Let's see. So it's a strange one. Let's do an exponentials and logs. Oh, we kind of did some logs already. So u equals e to the minus 3x. We have to find the integral between 1 and 0. 1 minus e to the minus 3x over 1 plus e to the minus 3x with respect to x.
So we can start off by changing the u to equal to x.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not sure how to change the e.
Do you know what the opposite of e is?
It'd be just ln.
Yep. And so you take ln of both sides. And so it's ln u equals ln e to the minus 3x. Any idea what you do next?
So then x just be ln u divided by minus 3.
Yep. And I'll write it as minus a third ln u, just so it's in polynomial form for integrating. Okay.
Is the du by dx minus 3?
It is minus 3 e to the minus 3x.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's minus 3 times that, because that one doesn't change.
So I don't know what the du would change into.
Du, well, let's see. Dx will be, let's just write it as 1 over minus 3 e to the minus 3x du.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
So would we now input our x values?
Okay.
So we'll have 1 minus e to the minus 3 times by...
No. So you do that every time. What is 1 minus e to the minus 3x the same as?
It's just u.
Or
So 1 minus u.
Yeah, 1 minus u.
So that would the bottom be... Is it 1 plus u?
Yeah. And so we may not have needed to do the make x the subject thing, but couldn't hurt. I was afraid of integrating the ln u, to be honest. Okay, what else?
And then we'll have the dx value, so the 1 over minus 3 e to the minus 3x du.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do we have to change the limits?
Yep.
So that e to the minus 3 when x is 1.
When x is 1, u is e to the minus 3. Yeah.
And when x is 0, is it just e to the minus... Oh wait, would it just be 1?
Yep. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. And so this will be integrating between 1 and e to the minus 3. Or 1 over e to the plus 3. How do we do this one?
Can we times out the fractions?
Yep. Before you do that, we have an x. We should just have u's.
So then we can put in minus a third ln u.
What is... No. What is e to the minus 3x the same as?
Oh, u. So it's minus 3u.
Yeah. And in fact, if you did put in minus a third ln u, it would simplify down to just u as well.
Okay.
Minus 3 times minus a third would be 1. Ln u, e, left with just u. Yes, you could now expand it, the fraction. Multiply the fractions.
So then we'll just have 1 over u. And then that'll be just times by 1 plus u times by minus 3u.
Yeah.
So it'll be minus 3u. And then minus 3u squared.
Squared, yes. Okay, we're integrating this thing. How do we do this?
Can we split it as fractions?
We can, but I don't think it will help. It's because these would both have to be on the denominator. It might help a little bit for the second part. See, the only way, if you were to split that up, it would be 1 over minus 3u minus 3u squared, and minus u over minus 3u minus 3u squared. So maybe this one gets a bit simpler, but not this one. And we might have to do it by parts. Is this how this is supposed to go? Or is there some easier way? You have a function divided by a function. Let me see. Is this time for by parts or something? One sec. I just don't remember. Integration by parts is when you've got two things multiplied by each other, and it's that. Have you done integration by parts yet?
No.
So maybe then we shouldn't finish this one. Let me just see. See, you could.
I think my teachers told me about doing partial fractions in questions.
Yeah, you could use partial fractions. Man, that's not. Oh, okay. So in that case, let's leave the bottom as minus 3u times by 1 plus u. Do you know how you'd write that as two separate fractions, like?
Yeah. So there'd be a over minus 3u, and then plus b over 1 plus u.
Yeah.
And then we'll just have to plus c in the end, would it?
There's no third thing. You would do plus c if there was like squared or something, I believe.
Okay. So then that's just equal to 1 over u. That fraction.
What, these two are all equal to something?
The 1 minus u over minus 3u times by the 1 plus u.
Yeah, so those are equal to that. Okay.
So then we could change it so it's 1 minus 4 is equal to a times 1 plus u.
1 minus 4? That's a u. Is it just my... How did you get 1 minus 4? Or is that... You thought that was a 4?
Oh yeah, I couldn't admit. Yeah, it was 1 plus u. So both times and out the brackets.
So you cross multiply, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then that would be b times by minus 3u. And from there, can we just take the top row?
Yes, exactly. Well done.
So then we can take it when u is equal to -1.
Yep.
So then that would become, so the a cancels out, and then it would just be -3 is equal to 3b.
I believe it would be 3b is equal to 1 minus -1. So if you sub...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then that's just 2.
Mm-hmm.
So b is equal to 2/3.
Yep.
And then can we just do it for when u is equal to 0?
Yeah.
So then a is just equal to 1.
Is equal to 1.
So then that mean our fractions is now 1/-3u.
Mm-hmm.
Then it would be would it then change to 3/2 times the 1 plus u?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Say it again. Sorry, 3/2 times 1 plus u, was it?
Yeah.
It would be the other way around. So basically 2 on the top, and so 2/3, 2 on the top, 3 on the bottom, 1 plus u, like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's still 2/3.
Okay. So do we need to simplify that now?
Nope. So this thing, we were going to integrate it. We didn't know how to. We've now changed the way it's written. And so we can integrate this because it's the same thing.
Okay. So integrating the 1/-3u, does that become -3 ln u?
I think it's just ln the magnitude of -3u. Or is it? Let me think about this. It could be -1/3. Is that the same thing? That is the same as -1/3 times 1/u. It might be the same thing if we work it all out. See, this is the same as -1/3 times 1/u. So just to be safe, I'm just going to write that as -1/3 ln u.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, how about this one?
I'm not sure what to do with that one.
I think that's just going to be same idea. 2 ln and then 3 plus 3u, or however you want to write it. 3, 1 plus u.
Okay.
Yeah. It won't matter if you expand it or not. And we were doing this between 1 and e to the minus 3.
So then if you input them.
Yeah. What is ln 1?
That's just 0.
Yeah, so just watch out for that first one. Okay, go on, input them, see what you get.
That should become as 1 decimal.
So the point is that we don't put it as a decimal. So if we sub in 1, that's 0. So we get 2 ln 6.
6. Yeah.
And so we'll keep it as an exact value. We in these questions they would usually say find the exact value.
Okay, yeah. And then are we just inputting the e to the minus 3 into the other?
Yeah.
So then that's a minus 1/3. The ln and the e would cancel out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think you could take a chance and put minus 1/3 ln e to the minus 3 into your calculator, and I think you won't get a decimal. I think the calculator will figure it out for you.
Okay. So that just becomes minus 1.
And what did you put in? Did you put in 1/3 or minus 1/3?
Yeah, I just put it in 1/3.
So I think it's plus 1.
Yeah.
So 2 ln 6 plus 1, and then this second one. And this one, nothing we can do about this one.
So then it'd be the 2 ln
plus 3 e to the minus 3.
and that's becoming into a decimal.
Yeah, and so nothing we can do about that. And so we could change the way it looks. Like 2 ln 6 is the same as ln 36 because it's ln 6 squared.
Yeah.
1 ln what equals 1? So we can change the way it looks, but I just want to see something. So that's ln. So that could be ln 36. That could be ln e. That could be ln 6. No. That's just one big thing in there. So we could change the way it looks, and e to the minus 3 is the same as 1 over e to the plus 3. Did they say what way they wanted it to look? So you have lots of different options here. I just don't know which one to use. Let's see. So you could just change the way it looks. I think it will be. I think it will be option B. We could mess around with it and see.
Yeah.
Because it has 1 and it has a plus or minus in between.
Yeah.
So at that point then I'd probably just say it equals whatever they want it to be equal to. Yeah, it is Let me just see. Yeah, it is b. Because you have the basically you have plus or minus in between. Oh, I don't even know, to be honest. It's a or b. So we could you could factorize out 2 and stuff. I just don't want to mess around with it. There's just lots of different ways to write it. So
Yeah.
you have plus 1. Let me just take a look. I think it's b because you have plus 1, and then they just rewrote. They just changed the way they factorized these. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Let's see. There's a lot. These questions are full on. Yeah, replace it with u, replace it with u. Even here, when you're putting in the minus 3e to the minus 3x, like instead of dx, you replace u in there as well. And
Okay.
then it was partial fractions, basically. Yeah, how was that for you, Eva?
That was good, thank you.
So any topic in particular you want to do next time? Hi, can you hear me?